Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Late Night Show with Dr. Kojo. I am your host, Dr. Kojo, and we are checking in today to talk about 4 ways that autism and ADHD can look like bipolar disorder. We're taking it back. We're going to do a classic educational live stream from my educational boys and girls. We have some people here who show up for the education, and we got some folks who show up for the entertainment. Now I hope that you would show up for both, but we gotta, you gotta give some to my educational boys and girls over here, and over here, my entertainment boys and girls. I gotta feed them as well. I gotta feed the whole family. I gotta feed the whole family. So today we're throwing it back. We're talking about 4 ways that autism and ADHD can look like bipolar disorder. Go ahead and use the comment section to let me know what your name is, where you're checking in from. And while you're doing that, I'll be talking about the comedy show that we have this upcoming Sunday in Houston, Texas. All right. So go ahead and use the comment section to let me know where you are checking in from as I talk about the show that we have in Houston, Texas. This Sunday at the All Jokes Aside Comedy Club, Dr. Kojo and the Neurodivergence will be popping in to do a comedy show. Well, 2 comedy shows, actually. We have 2 comedy shows. The first one sold out. So thank you to my audience. I've been promoting this show for months and months and months. And the first comedy show in Houston, Texas has sold out so much to the effect that we've added a second show. So we have 2 shows. We have a doubleheader planned in Houston, Texas this Sunday. So I want y'all to come on out. I want y'all to laugh with us, okay? We're going to celebrate the neurodivergent brains that we have. It's not just talking about all the things that are troubling us, but we have to make fun of all of the things that happen to us, all of the unfortunate things, and also some of the fortunate things where we take we find the humor in difficult situations and we laugh about it. Trauma, we wish we didn't have it, but once we have it, we're going to make trauma funny. So that's the goal. That's what we're going to do this Sunday in Houston, Texas. We have a doubleheader coming up for y'all, and I'm so excited to see y'all in Houston. Once again, that's this Sunday at the All Jokes Aside Comedy Club in Houston, Texas. It's going to be so good. It's going to be so good. Speaking of Houston, Sarah's checking in from Houston. Good to see you, Sarah. Good to see you. I cannot wait to get to Houston. I'm excited. We have Denise checking in from San Diego, from Michigan, but live in Ohio. Okay. Break a leg, autism, why would you wish me injury? Look, I never understood the phrase break a leg. I never understood it, but apparently it means good luck. But, I guess maybe it was autism or maybe it's me not being from this country. But initially, when I heard the term break a leg, I'm like, hold up. You want me to break my leg? You want me to have a fracture? I haven't even done anything against you. Like what? Why you want me to break a leg? Kansas, Columbus, Ohio in the house. Canada in the house. Sarah, Carlo, Mac, Columbus, Ohio. On TikTok, where are we checking in from? Let me see. Okay, Kiwi, Ama on TikTok. Rhode Island in the house. Rhode Island in the house. Leslie checking in on TikTok. Thank you for the follow, Leslie. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Mary checking in from Idaho on TikTok. Miss Mary Robinson, I appreciate you. I would love to come to Dublin. Joe, I would love to come to Dublin. At some point, I will be there in Ireland. So save a seat for me. I know y'all have comedy clubs out there. I know y'all have it because y'all are very, very lively people. The Irish love to laugh. So I would love to come to Ireland one day. Maine in the house. Houston in the house. Okay. Angie, I know I'll be in your city this weekend. I wish you could come out to the show, but hopefully your fellow Houstonians, is that how you say it? Houstonians? Hopefully your fellow Houstonians come on out to the show. We still have tickets for the second show available. The first show sold out, but we still have tickets for the second show. Nevada in the house. Oregon in the house. Love from Tampa. Angela, I appreciate you. Utah in the house. Houston in the house. Okay, so we have a lot of people from Houston checking in today. This is exactly what I want to see. This is exactly what I want to see. I hope that the powers that be we'll beam this live stream to everybody in Houston and let them know that we sold out the first show, but we still have tickets available for the second show. And Dr. Kojo and the Neurodivergence will be there in Houston this Sunday, looking to make you laugh and looking to have a good time, a great time. It's going to be so amazing. I cannot wait. I've been daydreaming about Houston for weeks now, and it's going to be so good. Orlando in the house. Okay, Michelle, I appreciate you. New York in the house. Well, look, that's an invite. That's an invite. One Irish person has invited me, so we will come. We will come. Dublin. Here we go. Yeah, no. Irish people love to laugh. We have a lot of love from Australia as well. So it's called the Big Neurodivergent Comedy World Tour for a reason. So even though we're starting off in the U.S., I'm talking with my team right now, and we're looking to come internationally. We're looking to come to some different countries, the Australias, the Canadas. I do shows in Canada already. I consider Canada to be just north of America, and it's North America literally. So even though I've done shows in Canada, it doesn't feel like a different country, but it is. Canada is a different country. But we will have more shows in Canada, looking to get to England, Australia, Norway. We're looking to get there. Rochester, New York, another place that I want to go to. Winnipeg, Canada. Leilani, our moderator, checking in from New York City. We appreciate you. Virginia in the house. Virginia. Buffalo, New York. All Things Monda on TikTok is also from Houston. Okay, so we have a lot of Houstonians. This is exactly what I want to see today. Dr. Lindsay Hill, how are you? Oh, you don't know about the show? Oh, okay, all right. So I'm glad you asked. This Sunday, me and my team will be in Houston, Texas, okay? Dr. Kojo and the Neurodivergence. And I say that because all of us are neurospicy. All of us are neurospicy. We're coming to Houston, and we're putting on 2 shows for y'all. Well, this is for 2 shows for y'all. It's going to be an amazing show. It's going to be 2 amazing shows. There's meet and greets after the shows. I don't know if we'll have my books in on time. Right now I'm working with my publisher to get a shipment of books, so that way we can sell autographed copies of the book. But I still have AuDHD, so I did this pretty late. That's on me. We may not have the books, but we will have the merch. We're looking to have the merch there to sell at the meet and greet, and the whole team is coming through to Houston. So the whole team, you'll get a chance to meet not only me but also the whole team, and we're gonna make you laugh, or at least try to. And we're going to have a great time. It's going to be amazing. Tiffany, I need to see you and your people show up. Y'all have already shown up and sold out the first show. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that. A lot of Angelas here tonight. I noticed that. A lot of Angelas. Seattle in the house. Long Island, New York. Oh, it's going to be a spicy show for sure. It's going to be a spicy show for sure. For sure. Houston in the house. Okay, so all my Houstonians are joining the live stream today. Like I said, perfect timing. Perfect timing. Danielle said she was misdiagnosed as bipolar. Look, tonight's live stream is a very important one because I think I'm pretty good at my job. But sometimes I get confused. Sometimes I'm looking at the patient. I'm like, hold up, is this bipolar or is this ADHD? Is this bipolar or is it autism? So it can be pretty difficult to tell the difference between the two. So we're going to get into it. And to confuse y'all even more, you can actually have all 3. You can have an autism, you can have an ADHD, and you can be bipolar. So I'm going to hopefully clear some things up for y'all, but at the same time, I may confuse y'all. Okay. I might confuse y'all. So disclaimer, just letting you know, I'm based in Los Angeles. Connecticut in the house, London in the house, Chicago in the house. We are coming to Chicago, June 18th. So we already have a date for Chicago. We have a date for New York City, which is June 11th. And then Nashville is May 31st. The first show in Nashville already sold out. So that's super cool for me. I'm excited. Philly in the house. Okay. Fresno, California in the house. I see y'all. Catalina saying, I was mislabeled bipolar 2 for 7 years until I pushed back hard. I'm autistically and recently ADHD and autism. yeah, no, it can be really tough to tell the difference. It's hard. It's hard. And like I said, I'm good at my job, but sometimes it's difficult to tell the difference. Atlanta. I came to Atlanta 2 years ago, and I would love to do Atlanta again. So I'm not sure if y'all were aware, but last year I attempted to go on tour. So last year we had 3 tour dates. We had Houston, Atlanta, and Dallas. And then maybe about a month after I announced the shows, I backed out because I was burnt out. I was burnt out, and for some reason, I was no longer able to sleep on planes anymore. And I used to take red eyes from the West Coast to the East Coast, and I would just catch up on sleep on planes, but I couldn't sleep on planes. I was low on sleep. My mental health was not where it needed to be. And I still had to show up for family. Like I still have to travel back to the South and check in on family. So I had to cancel that tour last year and just kind of prioritize wellness and get some rest and check in with family. And it damn near killed me to do that, but that was the right move. It was definitely the right move. And now that I have energy, now that I'm energized and I'm ready to get back to it, uh, we're ready to go back on tour. So I'm excited. I'm excited. Can you tell me what you do on your tour? Stand-up comedy. Stand-up comedy is what we do on the tour. And we're not just on Facebook Live. We are on Facebook, LinkedIn, both of my YouTube pages, Twitch, and also on TikTok. So that's Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok. So we're streaming on 5 platforms. We're streaming on 5 platforms. Shamara's also in Houston. Okay, like I said, we have a lot of Houstonians here tonight, which is very exciting. Very exciting. My Lakers are playing the Rockets in about an hour from now, and I'm a Lakers fan. So I know that y'all may not want to hear that, but I'm a Lakers fan, and I'll be at the game in Houston on Friday night cheering for my Lakers. But as soon as that game is over, we are one. We are one big community, and we're going to put on an amazing show. It's going to be amazing. Detroit in the house. Okay. Liz says, I've never been diagnosed bipolar, but I'm ADHD, CPTSD, and assume autistic, but not officially diagnosed. Okay. Well, Liz, this is why, you go to your doctor and they have to do the mental work to figure out what you have. But it's never a bad idea to kind of gauge where your symptoms are and figure out what's going on with you, So it's never a bad idea to just kind of look ahead. Echo, I'm excited to see you on Sunday. It's going to be so good. It's going to be so good. Columbus in the house. Rochester, New York. So we have quite a few people from Rochester, New York tonight. Portland, Oregon. I'd like to come there eventually. And tonight we're talking about bipolar specifically, not BPD. So sometimes people will write BPD and think that that's bipolar. BPD is borderline personality disorder, which can look like bipolar as well, but it is different. Very different. Toronto in the house. Okay. Been diagnosed ADHD and bipolar 1. All right. Okay. Texas in the house. Awesome. So tonight's live stream, we're going to be talking about 4 ways that autism and ADHD can look like bipolar. So I think I should start the live stream off by saying that the thing that characterizes bipolar disorder is something that we call mania, either mania or hypomania. So if you don't have mania or hypomania, you don't have bipolar disorder. So if you're at home and you're watching and you're trying to piece this together, you're trying to figure out, do I have bipolar or not? Do I not have bipolar? If you don't have mania or hypomania, then you don't have bipolar disorder. Very simple. Very simple. And mania is characterized by elevated mood, pressured speech, lack of sleep, grandiosity. You can also sometimes go into psychosis. You can hear things or you can see things. Impulsivity goes way up. Sleep and appetite sometimes go way down. And one of the earliest signs that you're becoming manic is often your appetite going away or your senses will become heightened and you'll be talking faster than normal. And if you talk faster than normal, it's hard to kind of tell that you're talking faster. Normally, people that you know are able to pick up on that. It's really tough to know if we are talking faster than normal because we're just living our life. We're just doing our thing. But perhaps your spouse or your kids or your friends, there's normally somebody who knows you really well who can take a look at you and be like, I feel like you're becoming a little manic right now. Normally it's friends and family who catch it. Okay, so this is why it's good to have people around you who know you pretty well. Because if they can let you know that you're becoming manic, then you can go make an appointment with your psych, get back on track, figure out the medications, and avoid the hospital. Because there's ways to treat the mania without going to the psychiatric hospital. You don't have to come and see a Dr. Kojo at the hospital to treat mania. You can treat this on an outpatient basis, provided you have a good team. And I'm sure that you have a good team somewhere in your local area. So, the 4 ways that AuDHD can look like bipolar disorder. Number 1 right here, and I kind of alluded to this already. All right. Number 1 right here. Rapid shifts in mood and energy. Rapid shifts in mood and energy. So, when you have autism and or ADHD, if you really have one or two of these conditions, you'll know that sometimes, depending on your day, your mood can be super high and sometimes your mood can be super low. So with autism and ADHD, you never know what you're going to get. It's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. You just don't know. Tonight, you can write a plan as to what you want to do tomorrow. And you wake up tomorrow and you don't want to do anything. You just feel depressed for some reason. It's hard to get out of bed. You're just sad. You're just sad. You're just burnt out and sad. That's autism ADHD. You just don't know what you're going to feel like on any given day. So are we going to have a good day today? Who knows? Are we going to have a bad day? Who knows? We just don't know what we're going to feel like. With bipolar disorder, you can have a shift in mood, but it doesn't, I find it to be more gradual. And even if it is a rapid shift with bipolar disorder, once you've shifted into a different mood state with bipolar, it tends to be a bit more sustained, right? Bipolar, you have these episodes. So it's more so episodic, a manic episode, a hypomanic episode. Whereas with ADHD and or autism, and you can also throw in borderline personality disorder in there as well. With those 3, your mood can shift. From 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., you can be a whole different person. And then at 11:30, you hear your favorite song and now you feel good. 2:30, you're depressed again. 4:30, now you're feeling happy. So that looks very bipolar, but true bipolar is not rapid shifts in mood, but it's more so a mood state. It's a mood state. And I think people are asking what causes a manic episode or why this happens. So if you're talking about manic episodes, what I have found to really cause them is stress. Stress. Guys, stress is not good. Stress is not good. If you're stressed out about something right now, just say no. Tell yourself no. No, I'm stressed out about my job. When that feeling of stress comes, say no. That's what I do. I'm stressed out about my job. No. My relationship is stressing me out. No. My spouse is no. No, ma'am, no ham, no turkey. You're not going to stress me out today. Stress is a killer. Stress is that, in my experience, that's why I've seen cause a lot of manic episodes. Stress leads to lack of sleep. Lack of sleep throws you off. When you're not sleeping and refreshing your body and your mind and your brain, it makes it easier to go into mania. Drugs can do it too, but it's stress. That's why breakups cause mania a lot of times. A really bad breakup can send you into psychosis. So be careful who you date. Be careful. Stress. And right now, the stress levels, comprehensively as a nation is pretty sky high. There's a lot of reasons to be stressed. You have financial reasons. You have family reasons. You have work stress, interpersonal stress. Everything is stressing us out nowadays. But as best as you can, just say no. Like, you have to talk to yourself and say no, I'm good. No. You have to figure out what you can control and what you can't control. If you can control it, okay, let's do something about it. Because not doing something about something that you can control will stress you out. Doing things or trying to do things and you can't control that category of your life, that will stress you out as well. If you have no control over, the security of your job, we can't do anything about it. Just do the best job that we can, and hopefully they don't fire us. So if you can control it, do your best to control it. If you can't control it, try and drop it, because stress is not good. Stress is not good. Stress can send you into mania. Mania can cause psychosis. So what I'm trying to say is that stress could lead to you hearing voices and seeing things that are not there. Not for everybody. I'm not trying to generalize. Okay. I'm not generalizing, but I'm just saying that it's the stress that you're carrying within your body that's leading to some of these symptoms. Arbria says, stress caused a manic episode this past fall. My world was in chaos and I couldn't sleep. Look, when you can't sleep, look, mania is knocking on your door. You gotta get some sleep. You gotta get some sleep. You gotta get some sleep. The past 2 days, I slept pretty good, and I was bragging on that to my sister. I said, look, the past 2 days, I slept for 7.5 hours. I'm doing good. I'm doing good right now. That's good. That's good. Stress. So watch out for stress. And having autism and ADHD can also be very stressful too. But unless you have bipolar disorder, it wouldn't cause a manic episode. Now, if you have autism and ADHD and bipolar, then yes, you could have a manic episode. But if you just have autism and ADHD, and I don't say just as in, oh, it's just that, but if you have those two specifically, then stress can definitely lead to neurodivergent burnout, and it can lead to you losing your skills. So bad things will happen, but it won't be a manic episode. So, neither one is ideal. Like, if your two options are neurodivergent burnout or mania, you don't want either one of those. You actually want none. You don't want any one of those. But the mania is the more dangerous of the two. So, not to say that we'll pick one of the other, but mania, full-blown mania, is the more dangerous of the two. So just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. Try to lower your stress levels. And ask yourself if you're carrying things that you shouldn't be carrying. Like, if somebody's stressing you out and they're not family, they're not somebody that you have to see on a consistent basis, they're not somebody you're dating, you have to ask yourself, why am I even kicking it with this person? Like, I'm clearly stressed out. Why am I hanging out with this person? You're stressing me out. I don't have to be here right now. Like, leave me alone. Leave me alone. Like, I don't have to be here right now. Stress. So watch out for stress, y'all. Watch out for stress. So rapid shifts in mood and energy is the first way that autism and ADHD can look like bipolar disorder. Now, this second one right here is, once again, guys, I'm telling you, I think I'm pretty good at my job. I think, well, if I'm being honest, I think I'm the best in the world at my job. Now, my Augusta University education is probably nothing to somebody who's gone to Harvard and they've done psychiatry for 50 years. But I think I'm pretty good at understanding people. So I think I'm one of the best, at least, at my job. But sometimes even I struggle to figure out, is this patient autistic, ADHD, or bipolar? Because they can look so similar. It's tough. So sometimes I admit that I don't know. Like I've told patients that many times. I'll say, you know what? I actually don't know right now. I don't know right now. I'm stumped. I don't know, but I'm gonna look for an answer. And I figure that if you don't know, you just say I don't know. It's easier than misdiagnosing or lying. Just say you don't know, and you'll figure it out. Because I don't know a lot of the times, and I'll go and consult with somebody who knows more than me, and I'll come back with an answer. So eventually, I figured it out. But sometimes I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Appreciate you, Josh. Appreciate you. The second way that autism and ADHD can look like bipolar, you have these periods of high productivity. Periods of high productivity. So one thing about us neurospacies, one thing about us is that we tend to get our work done in these big spurts. So think back to the last big project you had to do, or just think back to your recent work, okay? If you clock your workflow, if you're neurospicy like me, you'll realize that you get a lot of work done in a small amount of time. So let's say you have a week to get something done. You probably did a whole week's worth of work in 3.5 hours on a Tuesday afternoon. And the rest of the week, you're just kind of like, letting your brain rest, like you're just thinking, you're la la land, you're just kind of doing other things. But you probably get all your work done in a small pocket of time. And if you can figure out, here's a cheat code for y'all. If you can figure out what pockets of time you're just naturally productive, this will make your life so much easier. We should all be on a quest to figure out what are the 3 to 4 hours during the day or during the week where I am naturally the most productive, because you can hyperfixate and knock out a task that takes somebody else 2 hours. A normal person would probably need 2-3 weeks to do this task, but you can knock it out in 4 hours on a Tuesday afternoon. That's one of the gifts of being neurodivergent, being a neurospasy. So when you have these periods of high productivity, guess what? That can also look like mania or hypomania. So this is part of what confuses me if I'm confused about a patient's diagnosis, because this is really tough to tell. It's really tough to tell. And if you want to find a difference, you need to look and ask more questions, right? So I'm going to be checking to see, is the patient talking faster than they normally talk? Are they hearing things or seeing things? If somebody's hearing things and seeing things that other people cannot hear, and on top of that, they become more paranoid and they become more productive. If that's the case, then I'll lean more towards mania, right? Because we see psychosis, we see pressure speech, their appetite is gone. Okay, that's more so mania. If they're extremely productive, but they're not talking faster than they normally talk, their mood isn't up and down or super high or super low. Okay. Looks like ADHD and or autism. Let me figure out what's going on here. So you can ask a couple of key questions to figure out what is what. But when somebody is productive or very productive and they get a lot done in a small amount of time, it's tough to tell. It's tough because it could be ADHD by itself. This could be autism by itself. This could be bipolar disorder by itself. So it's really hard to tell the difference. It's really hard to tell the difference. And somebody's asking on TikTok the difference between mania and psychosis. All right. To answer that question, psychosis is a break from reality. All right. Psychosis is a break from reality. So when you think of psychosis, think of a thought disorder. Like they call schizophrenia a thought disorder. So it's a break from reality. So if I'm experiencing psychosis right now, let's say I'm in this room right here. Nobody's in this room with me. It's just me and y'all on live stream. If I see a little girl standing in that corner, but y'all can't see that little girl, okay? That's called a visual hallucination. So I see a little girl in that corner, but y'all don't see that girl. So to me, if you tell me that there's no girl there, I'm going to push back and say, no, I see a little girl, like there's somebody in that corner right there. You don't see it. Okay, that's a visual hallucination, right? And that can come from a thought disorder like schizophrenia. That's psychosis, right? Now, mania is when you have an elevated and disturbed mood, and your mood is so disturbed to the point where you could also have psychosis. So sometimes when you're manic, you can be psychotic as well. When you have psychosis, you could also have mania, and that would be schizoaffective. But normally, what I see, most times, what I see is somebody who has psychosis within the context of schizophrenia, and then you have mania within the context of bipolar disorder. And I can confuse all even further when we get to schizoaffective, but I'll try not to do that. I'll try not to do that. Can you visually hallucinate your own actions? I don't understand that question. Regina, I don't understand that question. Can you visually hallucinate your own actions? I don't understand that one. And we are at the 30-minute mark, the perfect time for us to get some water in. Can somebody drop the magic word in the chat? The magic word, so we can get some water. We can hydrate ourselves. So that way I don't pee too much at night, because I didn't have water too late. Okay, it's still before 7. Don't want to drink water too late now. All right. Somebody was thirsty. Cheers. Yeah, it's 7 o'clock on the West Coast, but it is 10 p.m. on the East Coast. So it is pretty late. It's pretty late. Oof. Big cheers. Big cheers. Big cheers. All right. All right. Impulsivity and risk taking right here. All right. Number 3. The third way that autism and ADHD can look like bipolar disorder: impulsivity and risk taking. Risk taking. There we go. Make it fakey. All right. So impulsivity and risk taking. When somebody is in a manic episode, they will tend to take more risks than they take when they're not manic. Same thing with hypomania, but especially with mania. When you're manic, you take on big risks. You open up businesses that you didn't plan on opening up. You dump large amounts of money into projects that you didn't anticipate on doing. You make big life decisions that you didn't anticipate on doing. You just became manic and you did it. Became manic and you did it. Somebody says spend money, sex. Yeah, you can have that as well. When it comes to impulsivity with mania, you can have a lot of sex, and when I tell people that, they're like, "Oh, what's wrong with that? I want a lot of sex. I want to have the Mickey Ficky. I want to get to shucking." But then I have to tell people that it's not as amazing as it's cranked out to be, because sex that's not premeditated. So normally, if you meet somebody, you're about to get to the Mickey Ficky, you feel me? Like, you kind of think it through. You met her on Tuesday. Okay, let's plan a date for Saturday. If all goes well, she comes back to, so on and so forth. In a manic episode, it's feel, do. Feel, do. I feel like hopping in bed with so-and-so, I'm going to do it. And when it's not premeditated, then you probably didn't go get protection or whatever. Like, it's just, I feel this way, I do it. I feel this way, I do it. I feel this way, I do it. I feel like pushing my car on the highway. I feel like driving 90 and 55. I do it. There's no barrier to the decisions that you make. I just feel, I do. I feel, I do. I feel, I do. So that right there, it's not as glorious as you would think it is. Like, oh, I'm shucking all these people. I'm having sex with all these folks. No, it's not like that. It's more so like an involuntary thing. Because we all have emotions where you see somebody nice. I'm like, oh, okay, it's a very beautiful woman. Okay. You go about your day, Or a lady could see a guy, oh, it's a handsome man. Okay, I'll go by my day. But when you feel something, oh, I have to have this person. Okay, I'm going to go here. Obviously, that can lead to a lot of issues. Same thing with money. I really want this, big device. I want this lawnmower, but it's $3,000. I'll just buy it. You could buy a lawnmower that's $3,000 and you don't even have a front yard. You're like, okay, I'm going to buy a lawnmower and I'll start a lawnmower company, and that way I can justify the purchase. Normally when you're manic, you have more ideas than you have time. So the ideas that you have when you're manic probably are some really good ideas, but the execution of those ideas is difficult. It'll be hard to get those ideas off the ground. And when you're ADHD / autistic, you can also be impulsive and take a lot of risks. And it can look like you're hypomanic and or manic. The two can look very similar. The difference is that with bipolar disorder, it's episodic, right? So when you're in a manic state, this is a manic episode. That's why they call it manic episode. So within this episode, more than likely, you're making a lot of decisions that are impulsive. You're taking a lot of risks back to back to back to back to back to back. ADHD and autism, but more so ADHD is, you go on Amazon, you see a couple of things. Oh, you know what? I've had a long week of work. I should treat myself. All right, I'm going to spend $300 on Amazon. You spend $300 on Amazon, you get the dopamine of, I got these products, I opened them up, and then a week later, you're like, oh man, I missed my $300. Why did I do that? I just got a little impulsive. I got a little silly. Okay, it is what it is. So you buy something on Amazon, you spend too much money, you feel bad. Next week, you're like, all right, I'll do better. But a week after that, you spend a little bit extra on vacation. You're like, oh, I really need to follow a budget. I'll get better at following a budget. So 2 weeks has gone by. You spent too much on Amazon. You spent too much on vacation. Now you're just a little bit behind on your bills. Now with bipolar disorder, for that 2 week span that the ADHD person had spent a little bit too much in two areas, for 2 weeks, you could have been manic for 2 weeks straight, making impulsive decision after impulsive decision. So it just kind of compounds and is one on top of another, right? Bad decision after bad decision after bad decision. Now, the difference with mania and hypomania is that with hypomania, the productivity you have with hypomania can actually serve you, which is why it's kind of tricky. Like when you have bipolar 2, hypomania, sometimes hypomania helps you get your work done. It helps you clean your house. It helps you catch up with family members and friends. So a lot of people are really just waiting for the next hypomanic episode. And I do believe that there is some benefit to hypomania. I really feel like you can extract a lot out of hypomania, but you still want to know that you're somewhat manic because you're going to be a bit more irritable. You're going to be on edge. And one thing I've seen with bipolar disorder, specifically bipolar 1, but also bipolar 2, is that during the nighttime hours, there's just nighttime irritability that happens. I would say I see it's more bipolar 2 than bipolar 1, but this nighttime irritability where you're just a bit more you're easily bothered. Your kids coming up to you and they want to touch you and they want to tell you about their day, and you're like, like you'll listen, but you're like, why do you always need me for stuff? The kids just want to come in and hug you. But you're like, you always need something. Knowing good and well the kids always need something, but you're just a bit more irritable. So that nighttime irritability, that seems to be more so a bipolar thing. Whereas if you have any irritability that's associated with impulsivity, with autism, ADHD, it can be any time of the day. It's like, okay, it could just be a day where we woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Like, I'm just pissed off. I don't know why. I'm just pissed off. It happens. It happens. And Jess on TikTok says, and to find the balance between that and the crash that comes after. Right, right. Speaking of the crash, how do you even talk about the crash? With bipolar disorder, if you go through a manic episode or hypomanic episode, normally as you go manic, right, or become more manic, at some point there's a crash that happens, and that crash goes like this. Especially with bipolar 1, the crash is, so you go from feeling the best of all time, like you feel very confident, you feel extremely sexy, you feel so comfortable in your own skin, you're getting more and more confident, you're becoming more and more manic, and then it just falls off like that. Now it does tend to come back up, but it falls off like just on a cliff. Now with bipolar 2, it's not, you don't have as high of a high, right? But it's a high, like you're getting there a little bit. And with bipolar 2, the unfortunate thing about bipolar 2 is that when you do crash, you kind of stay stuck in that depressive episode. In fact, if you have bipolar 2, the majority of your time is spent being depressed and or anxious. So that's why when you become hypomanic, you're excited. You're like, oh, thank God. Like now I can get caught up on work. I can get the house clean. I can catch up on my text messages. I can catch up on emails. Thank God the hypomania has saved me. Because obviously if you're depressed and or anxious all the time, it'll be hard for you to do things. So a little bit of specifics on the difference between bipolar 1 and bipolar 2. But like I said, you could have ADHD, autism, and a form of bipolar. You just can't have bipolar 1 and 2 at the same time. It doesn't work like that. You cannot have bipolar 1 and bipolar 2. So normally they diagnose you with one or the other. And if you have bipolar 2 and you have psychosis, it's no longer bipolar 2. It would be bipolar 1. And the only exception is if the psychosis you experience is during a depressive episode. Because sometimes when you're depressed, you can also have psychosis. So it gets more and more confusing. I hope y'all are following along at home, but it gets more and more confusing, but it's kind of, it makes sense when it makes sense, but it's kind of confusing. And Chris, what's the name? I can't read this. Chris Tilly on TikTok says, I had bipolar 2 and now it's bipolar 1. Oh, all right, perfect. So, okay, it makes sense. All right, got it. So y'all are following along what I'm saying. Exactly. And that happens a lot where somebody will be diagnosed bipolar 2, and then after further evaluation, you go back to the doctor and you say, oh, well, I've been feeling pretty paranoid and I feel like people are out to get me. I feel like all my friends hate me. And on top of that, I hear like this ringing in my ears. And like, I feel like people are calling my name at night, but then I look and nobody's there. So you tell your doctor that, then they say, you know what? Upon further review, this is bipolar 2 is probably bipolar 1. So that's kind of how that works. So I'm happy that I have not lost y'all. I haven't lost y'all. Is it? I feel someone healed from bipolar. Is that possible? All right. So look, you can have. When you say the word healed, it gets confusing. You can have bipolar disorder and go many years without symptoms. So we would call that in remission. So I know a lot of people who have bipolar disorder and they haven't had a manic episode 10, 15 years. It's just really controlled on medications and therapy and exercise and so on and so forth. So I guess, is that healed? Is that what you mean by healed? I guess you can say that's healed. It's still there, right? You still have the bipolar, but it's just in remission. It's not actively. It's kind of like a volcano, right? Like you'll have volcanoes that'll be there and they'll lay dormant for years and years and years, and sometimes they erupt. So that's actually a pretty good analogy. Now I think about it, a volcano. I don't know too much about volcanoes, but I think that's how they work. They stay dormant and then they erupt. So I gotta go back and do my volcano homework. I might go on a deep dive learning about volcanoes tonight. I hope not. I hope it doesn't keep me up. And then number 4, this is a big one right here. This is a big one. And the age of onset does vary for people with bipolar disorder. I see it happen a lot, um, 20s and 30s. It can happen early 20s and in your teens, but a lot of doctors are hesitant to diagnose people with bipolar when they're teenagers. But I sometimes don't agree with that, because if somebody is showing symptoms of mania and psychosis and they have a strong family history of bipolar disorder, then it'd be helpful to probably diagnose them if they're showing the symptoms. And another thing with bipolar, uh, people tend to wait 10, on average, people wait about 10 years to be diagnosed with bipolar from when they first show symptoms. So this means that people get diagnoses much later than when they should be diagnosed. And that's also pretty similar to ADHD and autism. A lot of folks are being diagnosed much later in life. Um, so it means that as professionals, we're not catching it in time. But I don't think that people are seeking, not everybody's seeking professional help. And the ones that are, a lot are being diagnosed. So as professionals, we can do a much better job. And that includes myself. All of us can just do a much better job. A much, much, much better job. But, it starts one thing at a time. And Jordan's saying, I'm almost 27 now. Have been diagnosed with bipolar 1 for 3 years. Okay. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate you. We appreciate you on this platform. And Jordan says, I was diagnosed the second time at 18. My mom claims that I showed strong signs as early as 8, but I have family history. Okay. Sometimes we see these symptoms like when people are kids and when they're teenagers, but a lot of doctors are very afraid to diagnose bipolar in kids. But there is a thing as pediatric bipolar. And I think the earlier you catch it, the better, the person will do. They'll have a higher quality of life. Now, number 4, this right here, this could be, and look, these are not in any particular order, but this right here could really be what confuses autism and ADHD with bipolar the most: sleep disruption. The overwhelming majority of people who have ADHD and or autism have a hard time sleeping. I mean, look at me. I'm wearing 2 rings that track my sleep. I'm wearing 2 rings that track my sleep. That's how difficult sleep has been for me my whole life. It's been tough. It's been tough. Sleep disruption. I believe that the overwhelming majority of people who have ADHD and or autism struggle to sleep. On top of that, making this live stream even more confusing, when you have bipolar disorder, you historically will struggle to sleep. All right. If you have bipolar 2, chances are you'll struggle with insomnia. If you have bipolar 1, chances are you will struggle with hypersomnia and insomnia. And hypersomnia is sleeping too much. So with bipolar 1, what kind of happens is that you'll sleep too much, but you'll have periods of, like, you might have like a 3 or 4 day stretch where you don't sleep at all. Like, just no sleep. That's why I see bipolar 1. You have 3 or 4 days where you don't sleep at all. Like, you've been up for 3 or 4 days straight and you don't even miss a sleep. Like, you feel great. And Lisa is backing up what I'm saying. You can stay awake for 3 days straight and you're not just up doing nothing. You're being productive. You're getting your taxes done. You're cleaning out the car. You're cleaning out the house. You're volunteering and helping your friends clean their garage out. You become very productive. Like you're handling business. It's almost like this is much needed energy that we like. Where has energy been all year? You're handling business. You're taking care of business. You're up for 3 or 4 days in a row. But then when you sleep, when you finally get some sleep, then you crash for days. Then you crash, and then the depressive episode that is waiting for you at the end of the crash. Yeah, now you're spending a lot of time in bed. It's hard to do anything. You can't brush your teeth. You can't take a shower. You're canceling on friends. You're isolating. So it's almost like you have 2 states. You have a state where you can't do anything. You're right here. And you have a state where you can do everything. And that's the frustrating thing about bipolar is it's that when you feel good, you don't know whether you're happy or whether you're becoming manic. Think about that. What a frustrating dilemma. Like not knowing whether you feeling better about yourself is you showing signs of mental illness. That's what bipolar disorder is. That's what bipolar disorder is, especially bipolar 1. Now, bipolar 2 looks like a lot like insomnia. Looks a lot like insomnia. You're not sleeping at all, or it's taking you a long time to get to sleep. Getting to sleep is very difficult, and so is staying asleep. Both of them can be very difficult. Getting to sleep and staying asleep. Both of those. And when you have ADHD, let's just talk about ADHD for a second. Take out the autism. When you have ADHD, it's hard to get to bed because you wake up at random hours throughout the night, and you have this urge to Google the history of fax machines. Like I'll do. I'll wake up and I'll look for the history of fax machines, and I'm like, what do they call a facsimile? Like, who created the fax? And the person who created it is Alexander Bain, because I know, because I Googled it at 1 a.m. So I know that. But you'll have these urges to just stay up and doom scroll on your phone and research random things, random facts that help nobody, including yourself. So if it's that difficult to sleep with ADHD, I think it's easy to understand how you could potentially think that you have, bipolar disorder, in addition to your ADHD, or that your ADHD could be bipolar. Pretty interesting stuff. Yeah, and you can Google the history of anything. Like you can go on a deep dive, and look, if you have ADHD and autism, a hyperfixation can grip you. It can grip you. You're just Googling things, and like Marjorie says, you're up late at night. Nobody else is up. Now you can just be fully creative. The nighttime focus that we have is remarkable. The things that we can do at night, oh my goodness, we can do so much. We can do so much at night. So much at night. I wonder if I have ADHD or bipolar 2 because I wake up throughout the night but don't have urges to do anything. I just can't stay asleep. I've had periods where I can't sleep at all. See, and this is why it's always helpful to have a provider that can ask you all of the questions. And one thing that we do is when we're asking people these questions, we're not just listening to what they're saying. We're also watching them as well. We look at your posture. If you kind of hunch over like this, it kind of means that, well, when you're hunched over, we're thinking that you're potentially depressed. If you're hunching over, not making eye contact. If you're making eye contact and you're talking super fast, maybe they could be manic. Or maybe that's just how they talk. Puerto Ricans talk super fast. Like growing up in the South, I went to school with a lot of Puerto Ricans, and they just talk fast. That's just how. Like I've never met a Puerto Rican who talks slow, and that's just their culture. It's not mental illness. I mean, maybe some of them could have bipolar, but that's just like how they talk. Like, but they talk so fast. So just have somebody who talks quickly doesn't mean that they're always manic. You have to, gauge and figure out how do they talk normally. How fast do their friends say they talk? So if you have a good baseline, then you can compare the baseline with where they are right now. So everybody who talks fast is not manic. And someone says, try Dominicans. They talk fast too. I could be Dominican too. Like I could just be silent. It could look like I speak Spanish. I keep seeing things and it's like shadows and I hear voices. I'm 21, thought it was normal. And look, if you see or hear things, and look, I have heard this many times in the office where people will say things like, I hear things, I see shadows, I see silhouettes, And I've thought that everybody experiences these things. If you have, felt this before in the past, or you currently feel it now, it's important to bring it up to your doctor and, let them diagnose you. I cannot diagnose you on on the live stream. Like it won't work like that. I can't do that. But I can let you know, hey, it could be helpful to go bring this up to your doctor and see what they say about it. Especially if you feel like if you've been dealing with this your whole life, it's not weird to you. Like this is your normal, and that's one thing that I had to learn. Like, oh, this is some people's normal. Some people think that everybody can see shadows. Some people think that everybody, that all people hear voices from time to time. So if that's your normal, it's your normal. But you bring that up to your doctor, and then they can, work that out with you. They can work that out with you. And look, mania can also be caused by medications. I think somebody said that in the chat. Like sometimes steroids, steroids can make you manic and or make you psychotic. So depending on the medications that you're taking, When did I realize the psych was for me? When did I realize? Maybe like after 6 months working at the psych hospital, because I started working at the psych hospital as a registered nurse on first shift, and first shift was too much for me. It was too overstimulating and overbearing. It just wasn't my thing, and I tried to get fired. I tried to get them to fire me, but they were short, so they couldn't fire me. And when they moved me to second shift, things slowed down for me. I had time to talk to the patients, and I'd go outside and we would shoot hoops. And you can learn a lot about somebody. We were playing basketball outside, just shooting hoops, and they're telling me their story, why they came to the psych hospital, and we're just playing not super competitive, but we're just playing like 21 or playing horse. And as we play basketball or even just throw the football in the courtyard at the psych hospital, I would get to learn more about the patients. And that's when I was like, I got to go back to school and do something psych related, because this is my field. Like this is where I'm supposed to be. And that's when I went back for the DNP, which is Doctor of Nursing Practice, which is a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner degree with a specialty in psychiatry and mental health. And I graduated from Augusta University in 2019. And then I went to Southern Virginia to do forensic psychiatry. I did that for 16 months, moved to California, and the whole Dr. Kojo brand started. But yeah, that's how I knew the psych was for me. I couldn't see myself doing anything else. I'm wide awake. Yeah. Steroid-induced psychosis is real. Most definitely. And that's why it's always good to talk to your doctor, because your doctor, they see the full list of the meds that you're taking. They have your full history. Like I can't just look at somebody's comment and say, ooh, that person is like psychotic. No, like you gotta go to your doctor and have like a full-on evaluation and assessment, and they would know what to do. Let me see. Houston, I'll be at the All this Sunday in Houston. We'll be at the All Jokes Aside Comedy Club. The first show is sold out, but we still have tickets for the second show. So it's just me and a gang of neurodivergents from California coming to, put on a great show for y'all. So it's going to be exciting. That's this Sunday at the All Jokes Aside Comedy Club. And I cannot wait. Ooh, I cannot wait. I'm just so excited to get there and talk to y'all. Like I definitely talk to the crowd. I don't just do my act. I definitely talk to the crowd. So I hope some of y'all are brave and want to sit up front. And sitting up front at a comedy show takes a lot of guts. Because we might pick on you. And I'll definitely pick on you, but it's out of love. So don't bring your side chick to the show, because we will find out. Bring your actual girl. Bring your actual girl. The second show. What time is the second show? Second show. I want to say it's 9:45. Yeah, the second show is 9:45. So if you're a neurodivergent who stays up late anyway, and I'm cutting into your doom scrolling hours, perfect time to come on out to this show. Come on out. Come on out. Come on out. You have a great time. And speaking of second shows, we also added a second show in Nashville, Tennessee as well. So in Nashville, we sold out the first show and we've added a second show. And I am so grateful to this community. I think I've expressed my gratitude a million times, but I have to continue to let y'all know how special y'all are. Like, this was done independently. Like, it's me and my assistants and my team. All of this is self-funded. It's all us. No management company, no agent, nothing like that. And probably hard to believe, with me having my brand and everything based in California. But no management company, no nothing, no external forces. We sold out the shows solely on the strength of your support. I have the best community in the world. I really do. I have the best community in the world. The best community in the world. Like, y'all support. When I'm right, gotcha. I'll be on for like 50 more. Y'all are the best community in the world. I appreciate y'all. Albert tell us it's 9 p.m. support time. Courtney, you know what? That's exactly how I need things to be told to me. If the show's 9:45, you gotta tell me it's 9. If it's 9:45, tell me that it's 9 o'clock. And especially places like Houston, because in Houston, Houston's an hour away from Houston. Like, it takes a while to get from point A to point B. So I definitely get that. The Nashville show is May 31st. May 31st. We can dish right back at you. Okay. That's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I want. And you're coming to the show in New York City, June 11th at Rodney's Comedy Club. It's going to be so good. I've never done comedy in New York before, but I've been to New York City multiple times. So I'm excited to come to New York City June 11th. It's going to be so good. It's going to be so good. And I think a lot of people who are going to the shows, I'm going to ask this when I get to Houston, but I'm going to want to know how many folks are at their first comedy show ever. Because, like, some of y'all may not want to do crowds, but crowds where you're amongst your people, that feels different. When you're in a room full of neurospices, like, that feels really good. That feels really, because you're amongst your people. You're talking to your people. It's going to feel good. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Any plans for a San Diego show? I'd like to come to San Diego eventually. As of right now, no plans for a San Diego show, but I would love to come to San Diego. A great town. I've been there once, and I really like it. Somebody told me that if I went to San Diego, if I visited it, I would want to move from LA to San Diego, and I can see why they said that. San Diego is very, very peaceful. Very peaceful. Do you enjoy light heckling at shows? I don't know about light heckling, but banter. Like, I like to go back and forth with the crowd. I like to have some good banter. I would love to come to Ohio eventually. And let me get the comments around TikTok. Just trying to eliminate a little bit of spam. Nasia says, is it too late to get tickets? For Houston, no. Houston, we have a second show. There's still tickets for the second show, the last time I checked. I was in Vancouver about a month and a half ago, and I have connections in Vancouver. I would love to come back. Y'all are a friendly people. Y'all like to laugh in Vancouver. Y'all really like to laugh. I like Vancouver. I've never been to Tampa Bay before. I have never been to Tampa Bay. So I'd love to come there eventually. Cheers. You must have missed a water break, but I got more water here. May as well just drink some more. You went to an Eric Church concert? I like Eric Church. I like Eric Church. So Brandy, who's asking about her possibly being autistic. If you're having a hard time getting a doctor or a provider to take you serious, it could be time to get a new one. You know, some providers will never consider a diagnosis that you could have. So sometimes you just have to get a new one. Honestly, just get a new one. Get a new one. I hate to say it, but the answer to your concerns could be a new doctor, somebody who will hear you out. Because whether you're autistic or not is not the important thing. The important thing is having somebody who will hear you out. But no, actually, it is important if you're autistic to know it. But you'll never get there if you don't have somebody who will hear you out. They got to hear you out. What some advice you have for identifying a provider right for a late diagnosis? I guess having somebody who has lived experience, but nobody puts that on their psychology study page that I'm a doctor who also has ADHD or autism. Nobody does that for real. I think I'm the only one who does that I know of. But you can look for somebody who in their bio, it says that they have experience working with those populations. Because if you click on somebody's bio and you can't see ADHD or autism anywhere, then there's a good chance that when you talk to them, they're not gonna, hear you out. But if you have somebody who in their bio it says, I have 7 years of experience working with individuals who have neurodevelopmental disorders, then you can definitely bring it up to them, and at the very least, they'll hear you out. And if they're not comfortable diagnosing you, they will refer you to the right people. So having an open-minded provider is key. I had to do that because I kept being diagnosed with only MDD. I ended up being late diagnosed AuDHD. Yeah, so somebody on TikTok said they had to fight for a diagnosis. Unfortunately, you gotta fight for one nowadays. You gotta fight. You gotta fight. You sound like you have an accent. What does your family think? What does my family think? My mom said she's gonna pray for me so that way I no longer have to take medications. So that's what she said. She said, I'll pray for you. So she prayed for me, and now I'm healed, I guess. But I still take my meds because I know I need them. Yeah, I don't know if my people believe in ADHD or anything like that. I don't think they believe in it. But hey, it's ironic that I'm Dr. Kojo and my folks don't really believe in it all the way. But yeah, it is what it is. Luckily, I know that your parents can believe a certain thing, and I don't have to believe everything that they say. I'm gonna take my meds. I don't want to be up for 3 days straight, so I'm gonna take my meds. I could just, you can listen to somebody and take what they say and say thank you and just keep it moving. You don't have to take it personally, and especially when you come from the background that I come from, like Ghana, West Africa. I'm from Ghana, Mac. I'm from Ghana, West Africa. On top of that, we grew up in the South, in the Bible Belt, in Tennessee. So, we're already religious coming from Africa. Then we get to the South, we're already in the Bible Belt. Everything is religious. God is the answer for everything. And I believe in God. Okay. I believe in God. And I'm a Christian still. I am a Mickey Ficky every now and then, but I still believe in God. But I know that, God's given me the ability to do what I need to do for myself. Close this window, it's getting cold. The worst is when people say everyone has a bit of ADHD because they can't. Yeah. I don't even fight those folks. People say everybody has a little bit of ADHD. Sure. Tighten up. This is my team right here. I love the Titans. I love my Titans, Angela. Ooh, I love my Titans. What's a Mickey Ficky? Mickey Ficky's a troublemaker. The Mickey Ficky's a troublemaker, but it can be good trouble. I used to get in trouble a lot as a kid. I was the type of person that always looked for loopholes, see how far I can push the rules and boundaries and limits. I think that's a neurodivergent thing, or it could be a Kojo thing. But I was always looking to see, like I was always questioning things. Like I never took things at face value. I'm always asking why. Like I needed to know the rationale behind doing a certain thing. So, and Mickey Ficky is anybody who is a troublemaker, but for good trouble. So, I'm a Mickey Ficky. Mickey Ficky. Facts. Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of trouble. Just as long as you know how to, like pace it. We can't be in trouble all the time. We can't be Mickey Ficky all the time, but every now and then we can be Mickey Fickies. We're always looking for different ways to get things done. I'll be live at the All Jokes Aside Comedy Club in Houston, Texas. On this Sunday. I'm so used to saying, the show's in Houston in a couple of weeks. No, the show's in Houston in a couple of days. In a couple of days, we're going to be in Houston. Wow. Time is flying by. If there's anything that y'all want to do this year, go ahead and do that thing. Get it going. Do not wait because we're almost in May. We're almost in the 5th month of the year. So 4 months is about gone. That's what, a third of the year. A third of the year is gone. Guys, time is flying by. My goodness. CJ, I appreciate you, man. I love these comments. CJ. I appreciate you. A lot of us feel like we're too much or, that we don't belong, and you get a diagnosis and it explains your whole life. I appreciate you. I've not come to New England yet, but I would love to come to New England at some point. I've never been to New Orleans either. So there's a couple places I haven't been to that I would love to go to. New Orleans. It's very normal to stay up late. Now I don't know what normal is, but a lot of us can function off of very small amounts of sleep. Anna, to answer that question, a lot of us can function on very small amounts of sleep. The older you get, the harder. But especially people who are like when you're manic, you can function off of very little sleep. But it could happen with ADHD and or autism sometimes too. It just depends. South Carolina in the house. Okay. I hate when I was a kid, I would get in trouble. No one would explain my why I was in trouble. Just yell my name as if I knew what I did wrong. Right, because people are not used to somebody pushing back. People aren't used to that. People are used to people just falling in line with everything. Because that's the normal way of doing things. You just fall in line with what you've been told. Just follow that and follow it and don't ask questions. Don't ask me anything. Just fall in line. And us neurodivergents, we always want to push the envelope and figure out what's going on. Because we just need to know. We need to know. Logging in from Finland at 5:41. Wow. I love going to preschools. I love going to schools. Eventually, I would love to, go to schools and, talk to the kids eventually. I'd love to see my team coordinate that for me one of these days. Somebody says, how not to be afraid of making videos, especially if you're talented, like talking. Great question, Tanky. The only way to do something and to get better at it is to do it. So if you want to make videos and you're talented, but you're afraid of talking, the only way to overcome the fear is by doing it. You got to make the video and you have to talk. So anything that you do that you don't give up on, you will succeed at. But you have to go through some failure. So you have to make a couple of videos that you feel are cringy and a couple that people may laugh at you for. But once you no longer care about people's opinions, then that's when life starts. So don't be afraid of anything. You want to run towards the fear, actually. Run towards the fear, and the less you can care about other people's opinions, the better you'll be for yourself. So yeah, don't let that stop you. Do not let that stop you. You got it. You got it. I have long-standing ADHD diagnosis at 19. Now I'm 42. Was seeing a neuropsychologist from 2019 as recently. And that's something about having diagnoses. Once you have a diagnosis, it can be hard to shake that diagnosis, even if it's not correct. You know, so something for us to keep in mind, that when somebody's diagnosed with something, it follows them. But any good provider should question everything. Like you should, as a provider, you should question every single diagnosis that your patient has. Don't just take it and believe it. You want to see if the diagnosis matches what you see, in front of you. That happened to you as well? Yeah. I mean, this is a very common thing, especially with folks being misdiagnosed. And people will continue to be misdiagnosed until the end of time. Like, it's going to continue to happen. So we just have to become better at advocating for ourselves. So if you don't agree with something, I think it's helpful to first and foremost verbalize that. Say, hey, you told me that I'm bipolar. I don't agree with that diagnosis. Can you at least tell me why you diagnosed me with this? And your provider should have an explanation. At the very least, they should be able to explain to you why they diagnosed you with bipolar. But many providers like to dodge that question. Anna, I appreciate you. I had a live stream actually, check out my live stream a couple days back. I talked about the jobs that are best for neurospicy people. But generally speaking, anything that gives you autonomy and flexibility when it comes to your time, like maybe you get to show up at 8:45 instead of 6:45 a.m., jobs like that. Jobs where you're not forced to be around a lot of people. Maybe it's like a flexible hybrid type role. Jobs where you have, the ability to not go to an office that's overcrowded and overstimulated. Anything that gives you autonomy and flexibility, especially when it comes to your time and your environment, would be a pretty good job for a neurospicy. A neurospicy. Does taking ADHD medications increase new symptoms like increased social awkwardness and sensitivity? No. So, I mean, these meds help with the wakefulness centers in the brain, and they help with dopamine and norepinephrine. So it makes it a little easier to start tasks. But I don't think that ADHD meds make you more awkward. I don't think so. How do you balance being on meds and having autism, ADHD? I mean, I just accept that it's something that I need. And also, I've tried to raw dog life without the medications, and I didn't like I didn't like where I was headed. I ain't like all that. I said, nah, let's get back on the meds. I don't need to fall behind on work. Nah, let's get back on the medications. So every now and then you have this thought to yourself, like, I'm going to go off all my medications. Nah, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. Trust me. You don't want to do that. I mean, you can try, but at least for me, nah. I'm sticking to my medications. I'll say, Oliver, I appreciate you. So yeah. So that's what we have going on here. We stream Tuesdays and Thursdays. I've been going live for the past week or so, promoting the show in Houston. This will be we won't have a live stream again until maybe Sunday, the day of the show. But this will be the last live stream of the week as we prepare for Houston. We get, gotta make sure that everybody gets there on time. All the comics, my team, the cameras, the crew, everybody. So this will be the last live stream of the week as we prepare to go down to Houston. Lauren Elizabeth, thank you so much. I appreciate you. So we're going down to Houston. We're going to have a great, great, great time. A great, 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 great time. And Leilani, I appreciate that. We're praying for safe travels for not only me, but the whole team, that we get there and that we remain safe and that the show goes well. I know the show is going to go well, that people are able to get there safely. Oh, yeah. I'll enjoy myself. I'm not bringing back any wives. We don't have any more space for any more wives. No more wives. 4 is enough. 4 is enough. 4 is plenty, guys. 4. No big mamas? Oh, nah. At least I feel like I'm entitled to at least one big mama. I'm entitled to at least one big mama. At least one. At least one. Oh, man, it's going to be so good. It's so good. And April, that doesn't sound like the most supportive comment coming from a spouse, but, I'm rooting for you. Rooting for you. And we will be adding more stops on the tour. I'll talk to my team now, see where else we're going. I'm sure Maine has comedy clubs. I'm sure that they have clubs out there. But we're going with the list that we currently have, and we are looking to add cities like, I think I mentioned Seattle, Oklahoma City, even Huntsville, Alabama's on the list, which would be super cool for me because I have a lot of friends and family that are still in Alabama. So I would love to come to Huntsville. Was it Phoenix, Seattle, Huntsville, Phoenix, San Antonio. Okay, San Antonio. So those are the dates that we're looking to add. Now, I love to come to Maine before it gets too cold. Denver, Cleveland, Detroit. Okay, we'd love to come to those. Fort Hood, Texas. We'd love to come. Chicago. We have a Chicago date. So Chicago is June 18th. So we actually have a Chicago date already. June 18th at the Comedy Bar. And Chicago is going to be a great, great show because I know Chicago is a great town. I love Chicago. I love Chicago. It's going to be good. New Orleans, okay. We have to add New Orleans. New Orleans is a great town. I've never been, believe it or not. I feel like that's one of the few major cities that I have not been to. New Orleans. I got to get out to New Orleans at some point. I got to get out. McAllen, Texas. Okay. Big Papa. Santa Rosa, California. All right. Chicago's in my hometown. Okay. Omaha, Nebraska. I would love to come to Nebraska. I've never been to Nebraska before. Never been. I've been in Denver, but never done a show in Denver. He has a big mama shaped hole in his heart. I do. I got a big mama shaped hole in my heart, for sure. San Jose here. Okay. Shout out to the Sharks. Shout out. And we're looking to make some international shows happen. So my boys and girls out in the UK, my squad in Ireland, my squad in Australia, we're looking to make those shows happen. So definitely talking to my team and seeing how we can do that. Towards the end of the year, I'd love to come out there. I would love to come out there. Would love to come out there. Okay, well, y'all, this has been a great live stream. I'll be signing off for now. Wish us the best. We're going down to Houston to kick off the big Neurodivergent Comedy World Tour. It's going to be so fun. It's going to be a big success. And I can't wait to, bring back the clips, post it online, promote the other shows, and connect with my audience, people that have been supporting me for years. years and years and years. I've had folks who've been supporting me since 2019 when I first started, and even some OG YouTubers who were with me in 2017 when I wasn't even posting this type of content, and I was just trying to figure out what to post. So for the better part of 10 years, a lot of people have been here and they've been supporting me. Disley Mickey, thank you, Pamela. Thank you, Pamela. So I'm excited. I can't wait to get going. So this tour is going to be amazing, and I wouldn't want to kick it off in any other city than Houston, Texas. So it's going to be amazing. I'll see some of y'all at the 2 shows in Houston, Texas, and for the rest of y'all, I will see y'all on the live stream or on the other dates, which are Nashville, New York City, and Chicago. So until the next live stream, my online family, I'll see y'all later. Try to get some rest. Let's get some rest tonight, all right? I know it's almost 11 o'clock on the East Coast, so we'll doom scroll for a little bit. We'll do our thing. We'll watch our videos, but at some point, let's try and get some rest. Take care. Love y'all.